Broad outline, my lord, the state intends to adduce the following evidence in support of the charges in the indictment.
Yes.
Firstly, the evidence of Sergeant Musia of the Springs Local Criminal Record Center, who took photos of the scene on the night of the incident and compiled a sketch plan of the house and points where he collected certain exhibits. And this photo album and sketch plan will be handed up as exhibits. Evidence will also be led to the effect that he collected a bullet fragment on the kitchen floor. This point will also be indicated on the photos and sketch plan. Evidence will also be led, my lord, that the scene was revisited again in the morning on the 27th of October, 2014, by the very same Sergeant Musia of Springs Local Criminal Record Center. And this time around, he was accompanied by the then warrant officer.
You said the 26th of?
27th.
27.
Yes, 27th of October, 2014. And this time around, he was accompanied by warrant officer Mhlatlo. She's now Colonel Mhlatlo.
Then warrant officer, now Kenneth.
Yes. Who is attached to the Gauteng Crime Scene Investigation and Management. That both conducted forensic investigation at the scene, with Sergeant Musia taking swabs at various places in the house for the purpose of DNA testing, whilst Colonel Mhlatlo took photos of the taking of the swabs by Sergeant Musia.
Mhlatlo did what?
She took photos, my lord.
Yes.
And they will explain that, they took a dry and wet swabs, and the whole process is known as swabbing, and these concepts, my lord, will be explained by Sergeant Musia. He will also explain the packaging thereof of the swabs that were taken, and they'll also be depicted on the photo album that's going to be handed up.
Yes.
The state is also going to lead the evidence of Colonel Mhlatlo, who compiled the sketch plan depicting these points where swabs were obtained. The results of all DNA samples will also be handed up as exhibits. And the DNA evidence will show where the blood stains of the deceased were found, which in turn will show the movement of the deceased after being shot near the kitchen door and where he collapsed in the TV room.
So he was shot at a spot different from...
In the kitchen, my lord, yes. He was shot in the kitchen and collapsed in the TV room. And more importantly, my lord, the state will lead evidence to prove that, or to show that Sergeant Musia and Colonel Mhlatlo found a spent bullet on the kitchen granite top near the kitchen door behind some glass jars. And the state will lead evidence that this is where the deceased was shot.
Near a what? Glass
near
jar.
the kitchen door. Near the kitchen door behind some glass jars. Evidence will also be led that both the fragmented bullet and the spent bullet were sent for ballistic examination at the Forensic Science Laboratory in Pretoria. The state will lead evidence of a ballistic expert to the effect that the bullet fragment was damaged and thus unsuitable for microscopic examination. But more importantly, my lord, the state will seek to prove through the ballistic expert that the spent bullet found on the granite top of the kitchen cupboard behind the glass jars near the kitchen door matched the firearm that was found in possession of accused number 3 in the room which he occupied with his girlfriend at number 81 Cleveland area. My lord, the ballistic expert will present a chart to the court indicating the matching characteristics. The state will further lead evidence to seek to prove that the cell phone of accused number 3 was confiscated upon his arrest, and that the data on his cell phone was downloaded and various photos were found. Inter alia, a photo depicting that very same firearm that matched the bullet that was found on the kitchen cupboard, with the caption, "My killing machine." The state will lead evidence, my lord, that the incident was planned at the nearby Khumalo'S hostel, and a cell phone expert will testify that the signal of the robbed cell phone showed movement towards the hostel after the incident.
What you mean is that, like I have my cell phone here.
Yes.
It speaks to
A tower.
A
certain tower, yes.
usually the nearest or
Yes,
the
yes.
next nearest.
Yes.
And that, as I have it, as I move,
It communicates
it
with
is
various
not
towers.
it is not glued to one tower.
Yes,
My cell phone will then speak to different towers as I move.
indeed, my lord.
And what we are saying is that regarding this incident, after the incident, this cell phone, which spoke to a particular tower,
Yes,
proved through its contact with towers or with one tower
yes.
that the cell phone, after the incident, the cell phone moved
In the direction of the hostel.
in the direction of the hostel.
Indeed, my lord.
And that the hostel is not where the police found the firearm,
No, my lord.
which means that the firearm was then also found at a different place.
Indeed, my lord.
But that firearm, through the ballistic test, was linked with the spent. Was it a spent cartridge or
Yes,
was
the
it
spent bullet.
a spent bullet?
Or a fired
that
bullet,
was
no, yes.
derived from the crime scene, which is in the house of Maumela.
Precisely, my lord.
Okay.
The state will also lead the evidence of a forensic pathologist who conducted the post-mortem on the deceased.
Evidence of who?
A pathologist, a forensic pathologist. This is now the doctor who conducted the post-mortem on the deceased,
Yes.
who will testify that the death of the deceased is consistent with bullet wound of the chest involving heart and lung, that the chest wound is consistent with contact bullet entrance wound.
You were a bit fast for me there.
I'm sorry, my lord. The forensic pathologist.
I ended up with you saying the heart and the lung, and then
Yes. He will testify that the chest wound is consistent with contact bullet entrance wound, and that the wound at the back of the chest is consistent with bullet exit wound with a downward trajectory. The ballistic expert will...
Wait.
Sorry.
So that is Baloyi giving us a brief of his evidence. And that, of course, was a couple of years ago. But it's quite interesting to see where the case has gone from when Baloyi introduced his evidence, or should I say introduced his witnesses and what they will come to testify on, and what is currently happening in a present-day court. As you know, we presently ended with Upinki just kind of having us lost, okay? Having us confused, having us talking cell phone towers, this and that and there and there. Baloyi says that Upinki's function is going to be to show that Khumalo'S Samsung S4 moved in the direction of, I can't remember the name of the hospital, moved in the direction of the hostel where allegedly the murder was planned. Now, hearing this in hindsight, first of all, I don't think Pinky has told us this information. I think she's just still focused on how many phone calls Wangani Ntanzi made to his girlfriend at the Valeria police station, cell towers, and it's just really been an absolute waste of time. But I want to say, when he was reading through his list of witnesses, I was also doing a mental checklist of, okay, which witness did I honestly, which witness has come forward with information that is relevant to the case? And you know what? I could only like checkmark the pathologist. Yeah, it was only the pathologist that I can say, okay, his evidence made sense. His evidence shows that there was an exit wound. So then my question becomes, okay, so the pathologist confirmed that Mzansi was shot, okay, and that there was an exit wound, which therefore explains the spent cartridge that was found on the kitchen floor. But then there's also the hole in the door, and then the bullet that was found the next day behind the glasses. But you know what? I don't want to digress and give my opinion on that. I'll definitely be doing that once I do the video on Sergeant Messiah's testimony. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned as well for the surprise that Baloyi has for Kelly Khumalo'S lawyer. We all didn't see this coming. But now, okay. So Mzansi, back to the pathologist. The pathologist is actually the witness whose testimony, first of all, was mind-blowing. It was devastating to hear just how Senzo died. I have to go back to it and see if the pathologist's statement confirms that Senzo, after being shot, was able to move from the kitchen all the way to the living room like Uzandi described it for us. So yeah, let me know in the comment section if you remember that part, but let's continue on.
I hope I'm not jumping the gun. So far, with what you have, will there be issues about, how shall I put it?
The chain of custody.
The purity of the crime scene. I say purity for lack of any better technical term.
Yes.
Are there issues of the purity of the...
Potentially, yes, my lord. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thereafter, we'll lead the evidence of various people to whom the accused made admissions. Lord, a trial within a trial will follow regarding confessions and pointings out. Then cell phone evidence, my lord, will be last. And maybe on a lighter note, Leonard Friend for accused number 5 remarked that the state is taking them by surprise. I think the words were that we are ambushing them. We just want to show them, my lord, that we're not doing that, my lord. This is the state case, and this is how the case will be presented.
Yeah, well, I don't want to be the judge of that. It might be that you never took them by surprise, or you have stopped taking them by surprise. Whatever it is.
Yes. Then,
Advocate Baloyi, I think the motivation is that your colleague wants us to avoid leading evidence, stopping in between, and letting the witness loiter over the weekend only to finish the evidence on Monday and only to be then cross-examined on what that witness will have stated today. I think that kind of a ball is in your court.
Yes. Well, we open. I think it's sensible. I don't know what Advocate Teffo's position is, but
I can't hear you.
I don't know what Advocate Teffo's suggestion is, but we don't have any objection.
I was also waiting in line for the state to finish, because I'm surprised by the lining of the state, the way in which the state want to conduct
the lining of the Dominus Litis.
Yes, the way you lined is because
maybe it's designed to surprise you, but it's by the Dominus Litis.
Yeah, Lordship. I think the state is full of surprises. I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
Yes. So now, I wouldn't understand if, in this regard, we acknowledge the fact that there are alleged confession for accused number 1 and 2. And accused number 1 is not only confession, it's also pointing out.
Why are you raising that? The Dominus Litis has not come up with the confessions yet. All he told us is the lineup as he designed it. And whether we like it or not, that is how the Dominus Litis designed it.
If I can be allowed to finish, Your Lordship, I think you'll understand where I'm going. I'm saying there was the Dominus Litis did come with a confession when he says that then there will be a trial within a trial in relation to the alleged confession.
Yeah.
So I want to believe that Your Lordship is a tried law that if in any case of this magnitude of serious allegation of murder, there is alleged confessions and the pointing out as to where I was when the crime was committed, it's very important for the trial within a trial before, because in this regard, The only thing that incriminates my client, accused 1 to 4.
Are you
It's a
aiming?
confession.
Are you aiming to dictate how he should line up his witnesses?
I'm not dictating, and also the state cannot dictate. So if
But the dominant litigants can decide how they want to present their case, and will you leave them in peace to do that? If it's a wrong approach, take advantage.
I do understand that, Your Lordship.
Because
but it's-
what do you expect me to say to the state? Don't do that. Because if I can't do that, then we are wasting time.
It's not for a court to correct the state. It's,
Yeah.
it's for the defense also to raise its own situation. Because I'm saying,
How will you
Because-
tell? Will you tell him
Just-
to change that?
can I be allowed to finish, Your Lordship?
Yes,
Please.
finish.
I was saying, trial within a trial is a trial law that, in most of the cases, it will be the one that starts. Because in this regard,
In
there-
most of the cases, not
Yeah,
in
and
all.
for which I expect in
not
this
in
case.
all the cases.
For
And
which-
please, you are not the prosecutor. Allow the prosecutor to do his work, because I don't know where you are taking us with that, challenging the order of the witnesses of the state. I mean, I don't know where you get the right to do that.
it's within the right of the defense, Your Lordship.
No,
Because
you don't
the-
have that right.
We have to defend the constitutional right of our client.
Wait for him to present the evidence. You'll attack the evidence he's presenting.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that we cannot just always allow the
Then,
state to
then
dictate.
tell him after we adjourn. I mean, because you can't expect me to tell him what I'm not supposed to tell him. And you can't use this forum for that.
It's fine. I was putting for the record that there should be known that there was
Yeah, it's
supposed
on
to be trial
record.
within
It's
a
on
trial.
record, Mr. Baloyi. You are obviously going the wrong way according to Mr. Your order is wrong.
I'm sorry to disappoint Advocate Teffo, but this is how we're going to present the
Yes,
case.
yes.
We can then adjourn the case to Monday, my lord. All the accused are in custody.
Advocate Baloyi?
As the court pleases, my lord, before we call the first witness, we'll just, in line with the discussions that we had in chambers, my lord, just request Ms. Mzansi to perhaps excuse herself from further participation in the proceedings. Ms. Mzansi is the watching brief for Mrs. Kelly Khumalo, and as per the discussion in chambers that she can only sit in if and should the state call Ms. Kelly Khumalo as a witness.
Maybe I should state where I stand with the issue. For me, the watching brief, the client of the watching brief has an interest in the matter. If you listen to the summary you gave, so for me, she would have had an interest in all that is being said. The only concern we have now is that if witnesses testify before the client of the watching brief come on, and it's on matters that the client of the watching brief might be expected to express upon, then that system will not have been pure. So the only concern we have now is that if witnesses testify before the client of the watching brief come on, and it's on matters that the client of the watching brief might be expected to express upon, then that system will not have been pure. So I think I agree with you that the watching brief for now will be excused. I don't know about the situation. I think we will discuss further about the situation after the client of the watching brief will have testified, whether there will still be a need to excuse the watching brief. I don't know whether you want to say something, Advocate Mzansi.
As it pleases the court, His Lordship, I respect I'm at the mercy of the court in this regard. I would, however, like to place on record with His Lordship that the issue of the watching brief is to ensure that the process is there is efficiency in terms of the process. And as we are aware, there are many other interested stakeholders in the matter that are present in court. Furthermore, Lordship, I want to bring to the attention of the court that this is a live broadcasted trial, which of course means that the evidence that is provided by witnesses will then be public knowledge in any event. But I am at the mercy of the court, and I will make equal submission as the court pleases, His Lordship.
Yeah. Ms. Mzansi, I don't know whether you can equate live broadcast with physical presence within a courtroom. Live broadcast for me is about images that appear in line with the focus of the cameraman from time to time. That can not be assumed to be squarely parallel to the observation of a watching brief within a courtroom, because the watching brief will be able to observe beyond the focus of the camera. So I don't think I agree with you with that. But I think we have now come to an understanding, which you don't seem to be vehemently opposed to, that for the sake of the purity of the process, and in particular the evidence in this case, you will excuse us from the courtroom. As to what you do when you are outside, it's not in our terrain. Thank you.
As it pleases the court.
My Lord, the state calls the first witness. It's Sergeant Thabo Johannes Musia. He is witness number 46 on the list.
How things happen in court is such an interesting thing. I mean, Advocate Teffo already said Kelly Khumalo'S lawyer has no business being in this courtroom, but the judge wouldn't listen. He objected to it. He ignored. The judge said, "I've ruled. She can stay." And then jiggy, Baloyi and the judge come to their senses and say, no. She's got to go. All I have to say is that was so satisfying, okay? After being told that she can be seated comfortably in the court, jiggy, you got to go, okay? I love how the judge said, what you do outside the court, if you want to watch the live stream, that is none of my business. But from within this courtroom, today's your last day. Thank you so much. And you know, she also didn't know what to do. You could see she just stood there for a second or two and then bye-bye. Let me know in the comment section if you found that satisfying as well. Drop a 1 in the comment section if that was satisfying for you. But I digress. I want to go back to the exchange between, again, Advocate Teffo and the judge. And this is in regards to the order of the day, how Baloyi wants to conduct the case as the dominus litis, as they love to say, our learned friends over there in the courthouse. Advocate Teffo was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you starting with all these other boring things when you should just go straight to the trial within the trial? I mean, there's confessions in there. We got to work on it. And I see where Advocate Teffo was coming from. Let's not waste time with ballistic, pathologist, the crime scene, the police that did this and this. Let's go straight to the crime scene. And to the confessions. And by going straight to the confessions, he was hoping that then the trial would be thrown out if those confessions were proved to be inadmissible. If they're inadmissible, then it means the 5 accused and not the ones involved. And let's go over to 375. But nobody listened to Teffo. Nobody listens to Teffo. He has that wisdom, that je ne sais quoi, as the French love to say. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts on that exchange. Unfortunately, of course, as we all know, the judge ruled we ain't doing that. We're going the way Baloyi wants to do it because he's the dominus litis, okay? Baloyi can do whatever the hell he wants to do, okay? And that's exactly what happened. So, in our next videos, we're going to finally get into the first police officer's testimony, which is Sergeant Musia. We're going to break that down. We're going to go into it. So I don't want to make this video too long. So I'm going to end it here and I'm going to start a new video. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like this video as well. I absolutely love it when you do. It also tells me to keep bringing these videos to you. Please continue to share as well. I do see that you're sharing the videos. I absolutely love it. And I thank you so much. Also to my friends who love politics, if you want to hear an unfiltered woman's opinion, make sure you check out my new channel at gnu.unfiltered, because I'll be talking everything and anything GNU that is of interest. I have a video up already. Gayton McKenzie, Minister of Sports, Culture and Arts, okay? He has a huge impact on my revenue here at the YouTube. So I'm keeping a close eye on him. You have to see what he did with his first salary. I'll leave the link up here. Go watch it. Leave some love in the video. Share it as well. I absolutely appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll catch you on my next upload.